Hi everyone, it's Amanda. Said I would give you all an update on what happened after my appointment. Yesterday was my first appointment consultation with a plastic surgeon. Um, I went to go see a Dr. Weiser in Hollywood, Florida. And I'll just give you a step-by-step at what happened. We arrived, I filled out forms, signed a lot of forms stating privacy, insurance, etc., my name, all that good stuff, previous surgeries. That took about 20 minutes, and then I gave the form back to the people, and I waited for my appointment. 2:30 came and 2:30 went. I didn't actually get in to see the doctor until around 4 o'clock in the afternoon because apparently he had a surgery and a couple of them ran late, so he was 2 hours late to our appointment. Because I arrived at around 2, even though my appointment was at 2:30. I didn't get out of there until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, at 4:30, I was sat in the waiting room for a really long time, just reading a book with my mother. She came with me. And finally we get called in, and I'm not asked to undress yet. I have all my clothes on. And after that, the doctor finally came in, and we shook our hands, and he asked me why I wanted a breast reduction. I went through all the reasons on why I wanted a breast reduction, basically stating that back and neck pain, migraine headaches, and that I've seen neurologists for migraine headaches, and that I take medications, prescription medications for migraines, and they sometimes don't help, and I get numbness and tingling in my hands and fingers, my bra straps hurt, I slouch all the time, bras are hard to find, and also just briefly touched on the psychological issues that this has left me in as far as confidence, insecurity, and the male race. Anyway, when I told him this, he wanted to go into my migraines, my headaches a lot more. So I went into it briefly with him, and he said that he did not think that my migraines were causing my breasts. That he wanted to know if I had tried Botox. I told him no, I have not. And that he asked me if I tried acupuncture. I said, no, I have not. I've been to a neurologist. I've gone on diets. I've cut out certain foods, strong foods like cheeses. I've cut them out completely, and nothing works. And he said that he didn't think my migraine headaches were a cause of my large breasts. After that, he left the room, and he told me to put a gown on, so I did. I took off, my bra and my shirt, and I put on this paper gown that only reaches about your waist. And I put it on, and he came back in a minute later, and he looked at my breasts. He felt them for the density, and then he sat down and said, to be quite frank with you, your breasts are not that big. At that point, I just kind of slouched, kind of really disappointed. And my mom stepped in and said, but she's 5 feet tall. She's got 32 triple Ds. That's either a double E or an F. She's a 32F. She's 5 foot tall. They're not that big. And he was like, no, frankly, I've seen bigger. There are women who come in here that are 40, G and F. And I was like, but those women are 40, they're larger than me. That doesn't make much sense to me. And he's like, well, frankly, if I could go ahead and do the surgery. I'm not telling you I can't do the surgery. But the problem is that the insurance probably won't cover it. And I was like, why not? And he was like, well, insurance requires that you get a certain amount out of each breast. And I had done my research, and I knew that to be 500 milligrams. not milligrams, 500 grams. And so he said 600. So I don't know if the insurance upped the ante or what, but it's possible. He didn't think that he could get that much out of my breast. My breast tissue apparently was extremely dense, meaning they're not really that squishy. Like when you touch them, it's kind of hard. They're kind of hard. Honestly, when he said the insurance probably wouldn't cover it, I wanted to cry. I didn't know what to do. When I said, well, how much does the operation cost, overall, if I don't do the insurance, and he said $10,000 to $14,000 with anesthesia, hospital, etc., etc., etc. I just deflated. I didn't know what to do. I was so depressed at that point, totally brought my mood down. Anyway, after that, my mom asked, well, can she ask you a few questions anyway? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So I proceeded to ask a few questions that I had written down, as far as what incisions he'd make, and he said he'd do the anchor incisions, which is basically around the nipple, down, and under the breast. And then how much fat would be removed, and he said definitely not 600 grams, which is 1.33 pounds, by the way. I wanted to know if the fullness that's under my arms, would that be resolved? And he said, well, since if you were to get a reduction, yeah, that would be a part of it. I told him I wanted to go down to a B or C. I asked him about free nipple grafting, which he said was totally not necessary. I asked if I needed a breast lift. He said that would be a part of it. I asked him about anesthesia, and he said he put me under completely not conscious sedation, which some surgeons only put you under conscious sedation, which is you're not conscious, not really. It's like you're given a sedative to make you go to bed, but it's not like... And then you're given a general anesthesia on your breast, and meaning they numb your breast, and you continue with the surgery. So you're sleeping, but your brain doesn't register that you're feeling any pain, because you're numb. And so you just pretty much sleep through the procedure. Anyway, he said full anesthesia, meaning 2 down the throat, whole 9 yards. I asked him about where the surgery would take place, and he said across the street, which was Memorial Regional Hospital. I asked him if I had to stay in the hospital. He said that no, it was outpatient. I asked him about drains. He said that he didn't think that was necessary with me. I asked how long my recovery would be. He said he didn't know. It depends on the person. I asked about swelling. He said I would definitely have swelling. I asked him about scars and keloids, and he said, well, and this is what kind of really pissed me off, is that before my mother said that I had a lot of self-confidence issues about my breasts. And when I asked him about the scars, like, how bad would they be? I mean, I said to him, I know you can't know for sure, but if you had to make a guess, what would they be? And he said, there's always a chance that you'll have scars. And I was like, oh, I'm not scared of the scars. And he was like, well, what about keloids? I was like, I mean, I wouldn't like keloids, no. And he was like, well, that's just something you have to think about. I mean, your mother tells me about the self-confidence issues that you have with your breast, but what is about the self-confidence issues as with your scars? I mean, and he said, I'm going to assume that you're socially active. I'm not sure if he meant sexually active or what, but what I think he was trying to say was that what if you go to bed with a guy and he hates your scars? And I was, I mean, I didn't say anything to it because I wasn't sure what he meant or what, but anyway, I asked him if he had enough time, if I had enough time to recover over spring break, and he asked when spring break was, and I said it was March 9th to the March 19th, and he said he didn't think he had any openings, and I was like, okay, well, that's pretty much all I had to really say about anything. Afterwards, he left. I was completely depressed. I didn't know really what to do. He said, let's go ahead and apply for the insurance, but, don't hold high hopes. Um, so after that, he left, and one of his nurses came in. His nurse was really nice. Her name was Anne, older woman. And she came in, and she was like, let's just apply for the insurance and see what happens. I really liked her automatically. She was very nice. Let's just see what happens. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not, at this point, I'm just at a whatever state. I want to cry because I'm so disappointed and upset. And she was like, even if the insurance doesn't cover it, I'm going to get you a good price because your mom works at the hospital, which she does. She's a radiation therapist at the Memorial Healthcare System here in Florida. It's a hospital system. They got like 3 hospitals in South Florida. She works there, so she said she can, get us a good price. And she said, after all, it's really not that expensive. It only costs, $5,000 to $6,000. And my mom went, wait a second, what? He just said that was a $10,000 to $14,000 operation. And she was like, well, we have an operating room here in this facility. And my mom went, well, he didn't mention that. And, obviously, $14,000 to do it in the hospital and $7,000 to do it in the facility. And he didn't even mention it. I don't know if it's because he was having a bad day or he was flustered or what. But he just totally forgot to mention that. So my mom said, well, can you go and ask him? And she did, and she came back and said, yeah, absolutely, we can do it here. Well, I'm healthy. I have no problems with anything. Anything with anything. I don't have heart problems, lung problems, kidney problems, anything. I'm completely healthy. I could totally do it there. If I had a heart complication, I wanted to get a breast reduction, then maybe it would probably be necessary to do it in a hospital. Honestly, you can do it in the outpatient center. I don't really care. But, which totally makes a difference. We're talking $6,000 versus $14,000 here. He didn't mention it. Anyway, the nurse could see, obviously. I was still very distraught and upset. And she was like, can I call you and tell you what the insurance says and give you, like, a total price on what the reduction's going to be if the insurance doesn't cover. And I was like, yeah. And I gave her, what's a number to reach you, and I gave her my cell phone number. And she's like, okay, I'll be in touch. So me and my mom left. On the way home, I'm completely silent. My mom's trying to talk to me, get me to talk, and I'm just depressed, disappointed. The thing that got to me most is that he said, your breasts are not that big. I know. I am not a heavy woman. I am quite aware that I am not a heavy woman. And what really bothered me is that he said that insurance companies often approve women who are larger, heavier, because they have bigger breasts, because of their weight, and often, the insurance will say, we'll approve you if you lose a certain amount of weight. I am 115 pounds. They weighed me there. I'm 150 pounds. I'm 5 foot tall. I have 32 triple D breasts. That converts to either a 32 double E or a 32 F breast, depending on where you go to get your bras. Where I go to get my bras at Soma, I'm a 32 triple D, but I've gone to Intimacy, which is another bra place that specializes in bras, and I'm a 32 F. It's the same thing. It's just how they write their letters. And anyway, my mom was trying to get me to talk and open up. I was completely depressed that the insurance won't cover somebody like me who is not heavy at all and who suffers because she's got these heavy breasts. Sorry about the grandfather clock. Who suffers because she's got these heavy breasts, but my breasts aren't big enough. That he wouldn't take out that much. I didn't know what to do at that point. I applied for the insurance. frankly, I didn't think that they would accept me. Anyway, the whole ride home, I was depressed. We came home. I sat around for a little bit. Then me and my mom and my dad went out to dinner. My mom basically told the whole story because she's better at retelling things than I am. I often skip her out. Excuse me. And I'm still depressed. I'm slouching in my seat. I'm eating my food, but I'm not really tasting it. This is something that's so important to me, and I felt like it just completely went out the window. I'm sorry, I'm crying. After that, my dad looks at me, and I'm not crying, but I'm really upset. And he was like, Amanda, you're our only daughter. I'm an only child. I'm adopted as well. And he said, when we adopted you, we signed up to make you happy no matter what. And, if this is something that's going to improve your quality of life, then, we'll do it. We'll take out a loan at the bank and we'll do it. So I obviously started feeling really guilty. We don't have a crap ton of money. We're getting by, but, that's about it. We have mortgage and bills to pay and stuff like that. We're not doing as well as we used to be doing, but, we still have a really nice house, and as you can see, and a roof over our heads and stuff like that. And I automatically felt really guilty because I don't want Daddy to take out a loan that he's going to have to pay back, But he said he would do it. I was like, and Mom's like, well, why don't you tell your father thank you? And I was like, well, I don't want Daddy to take out a loan. That's not fair. I can't pay back that money. I'm in school right now. I don't have a job. And he was like, well, you can pay us back later. And I was like, I just didn't know what to say. I was feeling pretty guilty after that. I told my dad that my mom and dad, asked if I didn't like the plastic surgeon. I was like, I did not like him, but I didn't like him either. I really like the nurse. And, honestly, if he can give me the cheapest price for a breast reduction, I'll just go with him. Because all the nurses said that I was in good hands, that he was a perfectionist, etc., 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 which, but did I really like the doctor as a person? Probably not really. So I was like, I'm just going to wait for the insurance. I'm not holding any high hopes for it. I doubt I'll get approved, but I'm just going to hope for the best. So we applied for the insurance. She's also going to probably call me either today or tomorrow with a price for the reduction if we did it at the actual facility. I am going to make an appointment today with 2 other plastic surgeons that I have in mind. One was recommended as a very good plastic surgeon by a family friend. The other, I had a couple of people do in my family and in their friends, and a couple of other people who said that they went to procedures with him and they really liked him. So I'm going to make an appointment with him as well. One of these does not take insurance. So if the insurance doesn't come in and they have a facility there, and how much, I'm going to ask them flat out, how much do you think the breast reduction would be if you have a facility? If they don't have a facility, I'm going to estimate that it's going to be around the $10,000 to $14,000 range, but I'm going to ask anyway. She asked me why I want to know that I have to come into a consultation. I'll just say, look, I've been to 1,000 plastic surgeons. I'm not going to come to you just to find out the cheapest price. Just tell me now. And, give me a guesstimate. So that's my next step while I wait for the insurance to get back to me. I hope that lady calls me today, but I don't know if she will. That's basically what happened. As far as my next step, if the insurance doesn't cover me, I'm going to be upset. I probably won't get the letter for I don't know how long. I don't know how long these things take. If they deny me, I probably won't appeal. But I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna go ahead. It's 9:30 in the morning and make some appointments with some plastic surgeons. That other plastic surgeons that I want to see, and that's what happened. Sorry. It was a very long and emotional video, but I just wanted to hear tell everything that happened to you guys with me. And I know you guys were really, wishing me luck. And Anna, one of my, she's the other admin on All Things Beauty, by the way, for those of you who don't know, said, that sent me a text message saying that, that you were all thinking of me, and I'm so thankful for that, all your support, all your kind thoughts and messages. For those of you who have gotten breast reduction, Angela, if you're watching this, I'm going to get back to you today. I read it yesterday when I got out of the appointment, and I have a lot of questions I want to ask you as well. But I just wanted to give everyone an update. I'm sorry again for the length of this video. Thank you for sitting through it if you do. If not, thank you for your prayers. Anyway, anything helps right now. I'm going to ask you all for kind thoughts my way. I really want this, bad. Me and my mom are going to sit down and talk heart to heart about whether or not this is the best thing for me, but I'm not one that usually, if I have something in my mind, I stay with it no matter what. I have a tendency to change my mind often, but this is something I'm 100% sure on. I'm not going to change my mind. I want this. I don't care about the scars. I don't care about anything. I want this so bad. What I wouldn't give to be able to fit into normal clothes. It's not even funny. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for everything. I will be posting updates as soon as I figure out what's going on. And thank you. I love you all so much. Thank you so much. And all right, I'll see you later. Bye.